Mesopotamia, the ancient land of Iraq, is where villages first became towns, and writing, the essential tool for civilization, was invented. Babylon is first mentioned early in the second millennium BC as a town in the Ur Empire. When the Kassites took over, they made Babylon the capital of their empire. The southern half of Iraq, which was known as Sumer and Akkad, now became Babylonia. Many centuries later, after many battles and wars with the Assyrians, the period known as the Neo-Babylonian Empire began, ruled by King Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar built Babylon on a colossal scale, the most impressive feature being the six-story ziggurat known as the Tower of Babel, situated at the center of the city.
The ceremonial approach to the ziggurat began at the Ishtar Gate, the gateway into Babylon. The gate was constructed with glazed brick made from finely textured clay pressed into reusable molds, then fired in a kiln, and adorned with mosaics of dragons, bulls, and lions symbolizing the gods. Marduk, the national deity and chief god of Babylon, was symbolized by the dragon. The lion symbolized the goddess Ishtar, who is worshipped as the mistress of heaven. She represented the power of sexual attraction and was thought to be savage and fiercely determined. Ishtar was also the goddess of war and protector of ruling dynasties and their armies.
The gate also has linear borders and patterns of rosettes, seen as a symbol of fertility. The roof and door of the gate were made of cedar. The bricks were covered in blue glaze, meant to represent lapis lazuli, a deep blue, semi-precious stone that was highly prized in antiquity because of its vibrancy. The blue glazed bricks would have shined like a jewel. Ishtar Gate led to Babylon's processional way, which stretched for over half a mile across the city. Once per year after the barley harvest, at the time of the spring equinox, the Babylonians would celebrate the beginning of the agricultural year with a religious procession through the gate of Ishtar. A statue of Marduk was carried along the route towards the town center. The religious festival will last 12 days.
There is an inscription on the Ishtar Gate, written in cuneiform, dedicated by Nebuchadnezzar, to explain the gate's purpose. It states, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, the pious prince appointed by the will of Marduk, the highest priestly prince, beloved of Nabu, of prudent deliberation, who has learnt to embrace wisdom, who fathomed their godly being and pays reverence to their majesty, the untiring governor, who always has at heart the care of the cult of Esagila and Esida, and is constantly with the well-being of Babylon and Borsippa, the wise, the humble, the caretaker of Esagila and Esida, the firstborn son of Nabopolassar, the king of Babylon, am I.
Streets of Babylon have become increasingly lower. I pull down these gates and lay down their foundations at the water tables with asphalt and brick, and had them made of brick with blue stone on which wonderful bulls and dragons were depicted. I covered their roofs by laying majestic cedars lengthwise over them. I fixed doors of cedar wood adorned with bronze at all the gate openings. I placed wild bulls and ferocious dragons on the gateways and thus adorned them with luxurious splendor, so that mankind would gaze on them in wonder. I let the temple of Ishtar, the greatest festival house of Marduk, the Lord of the gods, a place of joy and jubilation for the major and minor deities, be built firm like the mountain in the precipice of Babylon of asphalt and fired brick.
The Neo-Babylonians used art to understand and order their world by adding symbols important to their culture, such as their gods, Ishtar, Marduk, and Adad, to their architectural accomplishments. The Ishtar Gate helped the Babylonians make a real and meaningful festival to understand the seasons and superstitions of their ancient beliefs, to make order of their world.